Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, social media, sports, everything really, depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is an actor, a storyteller, a dancer. You'll recognize him from shows such as Locke and Key, Step Up High Water, and most recently, Teenage Bounty Hunters, which just dropped on Netflix. We're with Graise. Eric, welcome to Popternative, man.
Yo, what's up, man? I'm glad to be here. This is awesome.
Thank you for doing this. I mean, like I said, we have limited time. You're kind of one of those difficult guests for hosts because there's so much cool stuff to talk about. We got to make sure we fit it all in, right?
Yo, no, definitely, man. I've definitely been blessed to work on some cool projects lately. So yeah, I'd love to talk about them.
Absolutely. So before we get in specifically to the TV shows, I want you to kind of talk a little bit about your journey specifically as like a dancer and a storyteller and an actor when you kind of decide that was something you wanted to do, because you have an amazing, inspiring story, man, that you're an inspiration to a lot of people. So I was hoping you could just talk a little bit and so my viewers can kind of know what's up.
Yo, honestly, man, dancing was something that happened so much later in my life. Yeah. For those who don't know, I played King on Step Up High Water, which if you know Step Up, it's a heavy, dance circuit. And I actually got into dance after college. I joined this dance company called Full Radius Dance. And they have people with disabilities, people who don't have disabilities. I'm a double leg amputee also, for those who don't know. But yeah, I joined that and did a year of dancing, toured in Spain, did some really cool stuff. And then this audition came around for this biracial dancer who's a musician. And I was like, that's written for me. Me and Holly were kind of both shocked that she had written it and that I was out there, ready to go. And Step Up kind of just happened. And then after that, for those who don't know, I'm also played Logan on Locke and Key. Mm-hmm. And after that, Ezekiel for Teenage Bounty Hunters.
And yeah. I find it very interesting with shows on Netflix, because I just find, especially with the binging and the streaming and all the hype on social media and everything, they hit very quick these days, especially the shows of the kind of like, what do we call them? Like they're shows that are targeting, the teens, the 20s, you know what I mean? But like Netflix has a lot of those shows, and I find like
locked on it, man.
When they post them, they just hit quick. Like you're already in like the top 10 of Netflix, and it hasn't even been a week.
I know. It's because the binge culture, bro, and it's beautiful because I'm out. Before I started even acting, I was a TV addict, especially for series. I love things that continue and go on and have good lore to them, and that's the best part about Netflix, man. Like you get this like really awesome show. You don't have to wait around for episode after episode. You get it like boom.
And how has that been for you, who has had roles on 2 Netflix shows that are kind of very popular? Like, that's an interesting, unique situation, because you're in Locke and Key and now Teenage Bounty Hunters. Do you kind of see like maybe the fandoms kind of crossing over a little bit from your feed on social media? Do you see people kind of checking both of them out? What's that been like?
I do, look, I have a very small Instagram following, but everybody I think that follows me is very dedicated. I don't have a lot of fluff followers, which is nice. A lot of people who do follow me are very loving and supportive, and people have already been watching the show. Definitely fans from Step Up. I had a lot of people from Step Up who went over to Locke and Key. A lot of Locke and Key fans to Teenage Bounty Hunters. So yeah, it's been cool. Yeah, they seem to be enjoying it.
And it's pretty cool too, because I feel like you're in the same boat a little bit with Spencer House, because he has like the Society and Space Force as well, right?
Yeah. Spencer's definitely been working, and he's a really cool guy to work with. So yeah.
So I spoke to Charity Cervantes, your co-star, about this stuff. Yeah, she's great. She's great. And she was saying that the one thing that kind of drew her to this project was she really loved the script. Feeling is mutual there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like literally, I remember being, because I got cast like super late. And I remember being in the Uber on my way to set, like just like reading this entire script. And man, like literally laughing out loud. Like it's the first time I've ever read something and laughed that hard just from reading it. So yeah.
Absolutely. And, there's going to be a lot of things I think that are going to kind of make people kind of watch Teenage Bounty Hunters. I mean, the comedy, the script. I mean, I think it's writing these days. I feel like writing is the important one. I feel like the writing of a script is like the glue that keeps it together. You know what I mean?
It's because there's so many options now, like everybody has so many options. And so and I think it's a lot easier to get yourself seen as a writer nowadays.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I think the competition is heavy, and I think it's pushing the quality of a lot of the work.
Absolutely. What I want to go to Lock and Key for a little bit, because I remember like when when the trailers came out for that show, there was a lot of excitement because people like grew up with like, the graphic novels and people were excited about it. But the one thing is from the trailers too, like they put all these elements that reminded us of all these amazing other kind of shows and movies that we've watched in the past. And I feel like, I'm watching this trailer, Eric, and I'm like, there's some Stranger Things in here. There's some Haunting of
Absolutely.
Hill House in here. There's some
Yes.
Harry Potter in here. No,
Yeah.
man, like it's awesome, right?
Even Star Wars, you have a lightsaber at some point. Yeah, I mean, we're the nostalgia era. We're the generation that kind of grew up with the ability to like of ease to go back and watch our older stuff. And we're that buying age. So yeah, they are definitely catering to that nostalgia that we love so much, and it's cool. And I'm a huge nerd, so stuff like any kind of reference to stuff like you said, Harry Potter, I'm in. Sign me up.
Anytime you work on a project, whether you've been doing it for 10 years or, like 1 month, you know what I mean? As a storyteller, you're always going to have a learning experience. You're always going to learn something no matter what. Can you kind of take us through a little bit? Start with Lock and Key, then go to Step Up, and then go to Teenage Bounty Hunters about some of the learning experiences for yourself as an actor and a storyteller on those shows, Eric?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with Step Up, because Step Up was the show that
Exactly. That was the first
I
one.
did
Yeah.
first. I mean, Step Up was just learning how to be on camera. I have a theater degree, and so I grew up on the stage. And being in front of a camera was definitely super new to me. I had super high anxiety. I didn't know what, like, literally, my first scene is with Neo. So the first time I'm on camera, I have this mega star like standing next to me, who's an amazing actor. The guy's ridiculously talented. It's so annoying, but yeah, like it was definitely just getting adjusted to being on camera and just the basic things. With Lock and Key is where I learned to relax. The cast of Lock and Key was just so warm and open, and it was a new experience for me because Lock and Key shoots in Canada, and I'm from Atlanta, and both Teenage Bounty Hunters and Step Up shoot here in Georgia, which is awesome. So I haven't had to leave home, but Lock and Key was just like the new experience of just going to a new place and just telling myself like, all right, I'm gonna relax. I'm just gonna really sink into this character, and that definitely helped me tenfold. And Teenage Bounty Hunters was where I got to play gay for the first time, which was awesome because I am a gay man. And it was cool being able to just have fun and play with Ezekiel's femininity and the comedy of it. So yeah, I think that was where Teenage Bounty Hunters, where I learned to play, basically, to just kind of sink in and have a good time. And you got to with a comedy. You have to just let it happen.
No, absolutely. It's cool that you're kind of going through it. It's almost like the tour of Eric, right? Almost like
basically, man. I can tack a pin in my growth through this whole journey, and that's been really cool.
But I feel like it's one of those things where, there's some elements of this show, Teenage Bounty Hunters, which are, very out there, over the top, you know what I mean? Like high school girls as part-time bounty hunters, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of elements of shows that they're just real. Like they're about real people going through real things that we all go through. And I feel like that's kind of hitting stride these days.
Yeah, that's and that's the thing. That's the kind of reaction you kind of get, even too with the title. You walk up to somebody and say like, "Oh," they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm working on something called Teenage Bounty Hunters." They're like, "Oh, okay, that sounds," and I'm like, "No, it's super synced and it's super like real. It just it's everything that happens feels supernatural. Even though it's not supernatural, but natural. Even though it's kind of an over the top subject, and and they deal with so many topics and so many real life things that I think a lot of teenagers or even young adults or even older adults are still going through.
Yeah.
And it's not just the show of teenagers. You have Kadeem Hardison, Virginia. You have all these like adult characters that are also going through their different things, and so it's got something for everybody, honestly.
No, absolutely. Two general questions I kind of wanted to talk to you about the industry, whether you worked in this genre or whether you're interested in this genre in terms of when you're binge watching stuff. I mean, two things I'm kind of noticing that I kind of want. It's general questions. I want your kind of opinion and your take on it, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So I'm noticing two things. There are two genres that popular genres of content that I find are becoming so popular that even if they're like independent, smaller projects, they're considered like mainstream. One, that's the nerd and geek culture, all these superhero
Yes.
shows. That's mainstream culture right now.
Which is crazy, because you had to kind of like do it on the sly back in the day. You had to, or you get this little finger of like, oh, you're doing nothing with your life. Now it's like
That's
everywhere.
like that stuff is like the mainstream. People talk about them all
Yes.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is horror films, like horror movies. Like, dude, like that genre is like unbelievable.
Yeah, honestly, I'm terrified of horror movies. I
That's why I
cannot.
said it just in case. But as someone working in the industry, you can understand like there's a lot of popularity around them right now because
100%, yeah.
the writing it's the writing. The writing is so good these days.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. You get and all these different streaming platforms too. You get so many different options. There's never a time where I don't have anything good to watch, like where I can't just pick something up real quick. And I think that's kind of my first question now. That's one of the main like questions to everybody nowadays. What are you watching? Like
What
everybody
are
wants to
you
know what you're
watching, by the
binging.
way?
Am I watching? Oh man, I'll be so.
Teenage Bounty Hunters.
Oh, of course. I binged that day one. I'm gonna go on my second lap probably tonight. But I really was super into Dead to Me.
So good, like so
Oh my,
good.
Christina Applegate, like she just leaves me
I
crying, laughing, and just everything.
I watched season one late. Like I watched season one when season two came out, so that was really good that I didn't
Oh,
have to wait that long.
yeah, I know. It was, but worth it. Like it didn't even take that long to come out, but yeah, because usually I'm just like that. I hate when I like start a show and I'm just like, oh, I need the second season now. But it's totally worth it. And I think I went back and watched the first season too.
Did you watch I Am Not Okay with This with Sophia
Yes.
Lillis?
Oh my God, yeah. It was,
How is that? So I interviewed Aiden Wartak, Hesong, who played her younger brother on the show, Liam.
Mhm.
And that like they all got the scripts and that they were all like they were mind blown of like what happens in that show. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Like it's such a cool take on, because everybody wants to do a cool take on superhero, like you have all these different types, of shows going on now. Pretty much all the superhero shows nowadays.
Umbrella Academy and The Boys, shout out to those two shows. I mean,
Legion, like
yeah.
everything's got this like cool like twist to it. But I think they really hit the nail on the head on giving you a show that if you're not typically into supernatural or superhero stuff, you could really just enjoy it without any of that. And then you get this random moment of like, boom. Yeah, no, I love that show.
Your character on Lock and Key, I find, has a little bit of swag, a little swag to him. Was that something? Because I'm curious, because I'm a fan of Lock and Key, right? So I kind of want to
Yeah.
know, like, what did kind of the showrunners, like Meredith, like, what did they tell you about your character? Like, were you able to bring a little bit into it yourself, or?
Yeah, the cool thing about Logan is that he's one of the few characters not in the book. Like there
Okay.
are some characters that are combined with other characters, but he's the only one that's just completely original. But they gave me a lot of room to play. Honestly, they wanted me to come in and they were just like, you've done this, like just bring this character to life. And so, and from the script, it was very the first thing that Logan does is he keys a car in a disability space. The kind of guy that he is, to be like bold enough to do that, to be cool enough to help a guy he's never even met out in a liquor store, like just all of those things. I think he needed swagger. Yeah, he needed to be cool.
Because you know where I'm coming from, right? Like he has swag.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Which I have none. I have no swag whatsoever. So I'm super glad that you got that vibe from him.
Absolutely. Eric, thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man. This was a blast.
Yeah, man. This was a lot of fun, for real. I really enjoyed it.
So people can watch Teenage Bounty Hunters right now on Netflix. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And they should watch it because it is a fun ride. The writing is great. I mean, plug away.
Yo, Teenage Bounty Hunters, yeah, like you said, it's fun, it's hilarious. It does a cool kind of approach to a lot of social issues that are today without like beating your head with it. You have some amazing like stars in it, and it's a great ensemble. Yeah, it's definitely worth the binge.
Absolutely, and we're all excited also for season 2 of Locke and Key. We don't know when it's coming, but I've never seen a cast so excited about a renewal in my life.
Yo, yes.
I just want to say, like, everyone, that's the dream, right? Get renewed for season 2. But I follow a lot of shows, right? But like the Locke and Key family, because like you could just tell you guys are just having so much fun doing it.
Yeah, we all love each other and we miss each other. And I mean, you just kind of knew though, even while filming, like you just kind of knew. It's like, all right, this is going to have a second season. Well, I'll see you second season. I'll see you. So we're ready. Especially, with everything that's going on in the world today, we weren't sure when any of it was going to be happening. So yeah, we're super blessed.
Absolutely. And where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Yeah, like as you see over in this little corner right here, whichever corner it's in, IG, Easy Greasy, Instagram. But that's mainly it. I'm an Instagramaholic. One of these days, I'm hopefully going to be on Twitch. I'm a huge gamer, so keep looking out for that, I guess. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, seriously, congratulations on the success with Teenage Bounty Hunters, but also your career, man. It's awesome. Lock and Key, Step Up High Water. It's really cool. Keep going.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you can check out Eric in Teenage Bounty Hunters, which is streaming now on Netflix. Until next time, this is Eric Graise and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.